We all know who Robin is. When you first start Stardew, she's one of the first Pelican Town residents you get to meet. You then start to find out that she's the only carpenter in Pelican Town. She's open between Monday and Sundays except for Tuesdays and some other random days. And she's available to help you expand your house, build in some coops and barns, and even provide you sheds for more spacing on your farm. To anyone that knows me from my Twitch streams and probably YouTube, if you haven't gotten the fact yet, not a big fan of Robin. She was the first character I disliked in Stardew. I was actually asked why I didn't like Robin, and I actually found 6 reasons, and yes, only 6 reasons so far, as to why I don't like Robin. I put her up there with the Georges, the Haleys, and even the Pams. To most people, she's just a little humble carpenter that's there for Pelican Town, but for me, I think she's got a lot of underlying things that we don't know about her. And the reason she's like this is probably because she doesn't want anyone to know. I will find out one day as to why Robin should be one of the most disliked characters in Stardew. But for now, I thought why not show a video as to why we don't need Robin in Stardew Valley. And to prove that, I am doing a 1-year playthrough of Stardew whilst completing the community center with no, and I mean no, interaction with Robin. No house upgrade, no coops, no barns, no sheds, no nothing from her. And still being able to complete the community center. Now, is it possible? Let's find out. So I actually had a Twitch stream where I did no Robin for my whole first year, but I kind of forgot to download it. But that's okay, because I did complete a whole year 1 in a week. Took me a very long time to do it, but it was kind of fun doing it. So let's start off with our first day, which is pretty much just clearing out the farm and putting down our parsnips. There isn't really much that I need to comment on in my first week of Stardew because essentially all I'm doing is clearing out the farm, planting my parsnips, making it look at least a little somewhat pretty, and then waiting until the 5th day to go mining. Day 2 is very similar to day 1. I just water my crops and then I walk around for forageables, not only so then I can take that to the mines with me, but also to complete the spring crop bundle in the classroom. Day 5 is the interaction I get with Mayor Lewis so I can unlock the community center, and I also spend the day to go and get my spring crops for the pantry bundle. Then day 6, which was a good luck day for me, meant that I could go and mine. I use the mines a lot to make my money because essentially I will be buying a lot of things, and that will be primarily through the traveling cart. So my mining definitely required me to get a lot of minerals and a lot of ores, and to obviously try and complete the boiler room as early as I can so I can get the mine carts out of the way. The traveling cart is available every Fridays and every Sundays, but I forgot to check her on the first Friday, so I decided on day 7, which is a Sunday, to go and check her out. Unfortunately, she had nothing of use on that day, so I decided to just chop down some trees so I had a whole bunch of wood and decided to go to sleep for that day. Day 8 I used so I can go down to the beach so I can grab some forageables for the fish tank bundle, and to also unlock the bridge so I can get some coral and some sea urchins out of the way. I also thought about completing the museum at this time, so I decided to use my hoe at any artifact spots that I found and kept those for the museum. My days until day 14 is pretty much rinse and repeat, watering my crops, finding forageables, and any spare energy I would either go to the mines or I would chop down some trees and clear up my farm with it. Day 14, I finally got to complete the spring crops bundle in the pantry room, and that unlocked the boiler room for me. I did also decide to check the traveling cart on this day, but she seemed to be pretty unlucky my first few tries. So instead, I decided to go to Clint and break open some gears so I can complete more of the museum. Not only was my end goal with completing the museum was to open up the sewers at 60 items being handed in, but at certain completions of the museum, you get rewards. And those rewards included seeds that I could use on my farm so I could save on money. Day 19 of spring, finally the traveling cart was giving me items that I could use for the community center, so I decided to buy them with the money that I had. And that included a coconut and a sunfish. My days were looking good with the traveling cart because on day 21 I also was able to buy a large egg. So the traveling cart was very important to complete the animal bundle in the community center, the pantry bundle to be specific. Day 22 I finally completed the boiler room, which meant that the mine carts were unlocked, which means traveling back and forth from the mines and the town was going to be so much easier now. I realized in my last week of spring that I didn't catch any fish for the fish tank bundle, so I used this week to catch any of the fish that were required for the fish tank bundle. And that's what I did in spring. I completed the spring forageable bundle in the classroom, I completed the spring crops bundle in the pantry bundle, and I completed the boiler room as well. So I had to make sure here on out that all the seasons were planned out, from the fishes to the forageables and even the crops. Summer day 1 was pretty easy. I just bought the crops that I needed to complete the pantry bundle and used my energy to water them and then headed to bed. Summer day 2 was a hangout on the beach, getting all the forageables that I needed and catching any fish that I needed for the fish tank bundle. Summer day 3 was pretty easy. I did complete a fish tank bundle and I also completed the summer forageable bundle in the crafts room so I could get some summer seeds. I knew around this time that completing the bulletin board was going to be the hardest bundle to complete in the community center. I knew that I really had to rely on the traveling cart for things like the fried egg because the fried egg is a recipe you get when you upgrade your house, and items such as the apples did rely on the season, so I really started to write down things and planned out each season so I didn't forget what I needed to do and made sure that the items that I needed from the traveling cart were hopefully going to be there. I also realized at this point that I didn't select the option to guarantee a year 1 completion of the community center, which is a 1.5 option, so I actually couldn't complete the bulletin board because a red cabbage is required, which is a crop that is available in my 2nd year. So I decided to just scratch that out for now and see how far I could get, without Robin obviously. Demetrius finally came by on day 5 of summer and asked if I wanted fruit bats or mushrooms. I decided to go with the fruit bats because I needed the fruits for the community center. Day 5 meant checking the traveling cart and I finally got something that I absolutely needed, which was a large goat milk. I bought the cup as well just to save me some time, but seeing that large goat milk really gave me confidence that I could actually complete the community center without Robin. After a lot of mining that I completed during the spare days that I had, on day 16 of summer I finally got to the end of the mines, which unlocks the skull key that unlocks the skull cabin. So I decided to pick up the key just in case I decided to go, and I used the mine reset trick so I can get more copper ore, iron ore, gold ore, and some more coal. Day 19 at the traveling cart was a blessing because I finally saw the fried egg in there. It seems like my luck was on my side this time. Day 27 of summer I finally completed the artisan bundle, which did require a lot of fruits and a lot of artisan goods. Completing this was honestly giving me a heart attack, but I'm so glad I got to complete it. The next heart attack was doing the animal bundle. Then we move into fall and I started off with fishing some of the fishes required for the fish tank bundle. I also used this day to complete some of the random things that I had for the community center just so I could see what I had left over. On this day 5, this is how my farm looked. It wasn't that pretty, but it did just the job that I needed it to do. Day 11 of fall, I finally had enough money to complete the vault bundle in the community center, which means the bus is now repaired and Calico Desert is unlocked. Day 12 was also a really good day because I finally got to finish the fish tank bundle in the community center with all the 4 fish that I had. Fall 28 made me really happy when I went to the traveling cart because she had a rabbit's foot, which is something that is always a big need in my playthroughs and I always have difficulty getting them, so this was really nice to see. So moving into my first day of winter, I wanted to show you where my community center was at. At the moment, the pantry only had the animal bundle that was left over. The crafts room just had some winter forageables to hand in, and the bulletin board has some off things that I knew that I needed the upgrades from Robin's to get, so hopefully the traveling cart was going to be lucky for me. Winter was obviously a poop of a season because I couldn't complete the pantry bundle, which means I didn't have the greenhouse unlocked yet. But long and behold, on the 5th of winter, she finally had a large brown egg, which gave me some hope that I could finally get the greenhouse unlocked in winter so I could finally plant some crops of mine to make me more money. As there wasn't too much that I could show during winter, I did decide to use some of my time to upgrade my tools. I saved some of the ores and the bars from the mines and upgraded everything, including my trash can during winter. At this time, I knew that time was against my side because the traveling cart wasn't being too nice. I spent my day preserving any fruits that I had on my farm's cave. I got any syrups that were available and walked around for forageables so I could sell that or use that if I wanted to go into the mines. Winter 26 at the traveling cart has some really good things, but there was nothing else that I could use for the community center. And finally on day 28 of winter, it was crush time. I was hoping that the traveling cart would have something that I could use, and after checking her out, unfortunately she had nothing that I could use. So I decided to show you guys what I had on my first day of year 2 left over for the community center. For the animal bundle that was left over in the pantry bundle, all I needed was a duck egg or a large milk so I can complete that and get the greenhouse. And for the bulletin board, I had a truffle, a Mackie roll, and also red cabbage left over. I couldn't complete the community center in my first year, which was a bummer, so I guess we could say we kind of needed Robin in our first year. Now I can't say we 100% needed Robin, but the traveling card honestly pulled through. So my pros without using Robin is we were still able to complete a big part of the community center. We were able to use the space however we wanted, to have machines placed around because the farm can still look pretty if they're placed around the farm. And it also meant I didn't have to see Robin, which was great. But one of the cons is I couldn't complete the community center with some of the animal products not being available, so we kind of needed Robin. Not having things like sheds meant I had to place all my machines all over my farm, which doesn't mean it was disorganized, but it was a little less organized than I'd like. This is how my farm looked at the end, and it's not the best looking farm that there is, but it did what it had to do to complete the community center. So in my defense, I really didn't need Robin for the community center. I could have done it all by myself. And just to finish off this video so it's a little more satisfying for myself, here is something that it's kind of fun to do. Thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.